Have you ever watched people love food that you just don't get? Because I have. Hi, I'm Ati, and I'm on a mission to give foods I don't like a second chance. And today, it's spam. I actually grew up eating it, well, tulip, which is basically the same thing, but I never really loved it. To be fair, I think I was eating it in one of the worst ways possible. Every time my family would have it, we would open the can, slice it, put it on a salty cracker, and that was it. It wasn't horrible. I just never craved it. So today, I'm giving it a real chance. I'm making a few dishes to see if I can finally fall in love with spam. But first, what even is spam? According to my sources, aka Google, spam is a canned meat that's been around since 1937, originally created as an affordable protein, and it became really popular during World War II because of its long shelf life. It spread all over the world, which is why you see it in so many different cuisines today. And it just has 6 ingredients: pork with ham, salt, water, potato starch, sugar, and sodium nitrate. You might be wondering, if you grew up eating tulip, why are you using spam? The simple answer is that they classify both as the same in concept, and most of the people I have seen using this ingredient use spam. So I assume there must be a reason. One thing I always see is people pairing spam with kimchi, which makes sense with the sourness of kimchi and the fat of canned meat. So for the first dish, I'm making kimchi and spam fried rice. I'm not making the kimchi from scratch. That's a whole different thing, and if we're giving spam its fair chance, it has to be made right. So I leave that to the professionals. I had to make the rice yesterday to be able to use it today. It is just plain short grain rice without salt or anything. I just cook it and refrigerated it. The recipe I'm following, because I have never cooked with kimchi before, says to cut the spam into a quarter-inch cubes. But I'm cutting it a little smaller, but besides that, I pretty much follow the recipe. To be fair, I'm not used to measuring anything in inches, so I might be totally wrong and actually did cut it into a quarter-inch cube. But besides that, the recipe is pretty self-explanatory. You mix the sauce together. In a pan, cook the spam, then add garlic and onion and cook until the spam is crispy. Add the rice and cook it for a little bit. Then add the sauce and cook until everything is incorporated. Following the same lane, I made kimchi and spam rice balls filled with cheese. Because I like cheese and they look good. This recipe actually came without the spam addition and I'm just throwing it in there. So to give it the best chance possible in hopes that I wouldn't have problems forming the balls. I also cook it before mixing it with the rice. A little foreshadowing, not everything went right with this one. I think the problem was that the rice I used was day old rice, which was a lot drier, and the sauces added too much liquid without any stickiness. On top of that, the spam and kimchi were taking up space, so structurally things were not looking good. Let's just say the only thing holding them together were hopes and prayers. So in the end, when frying them, they started falling apart, and I took them out way earlier than I was supposed to. Next up, I made a carbonara inspired pasta. It's not traditional, but it follows the idea and most of the ingredients of a traditional carbonara. I just switched the guanciale for spam. First, I cut the spam into small cubes and cook it with a little oil. Once it was golden, I added the cooked pasta and mixed everything together. Then I turned off the heat and added a mixture of egg yolks and Parmesan cheese. Before we continue, a couple of things to keep in mind. I used Parmesan because I couldn't find Pecorino Romano, and I adjusted the ratios to get a really rich sauce. Getting back to the cooking, after adding the egg yolk and cheese mixture, we mix and add pasta water as needed until we get a creamy sauce. Honestly, this is one of those dishes that, at least to me, it looks more complicated than it actually is. To finish things off, I decided to make spam musubi. It just felt wrong to do spam recipes without including it. I did change one thing. Personally, I don't like seaweed or seafood, so in order to help the musubi hold its shape, I wrapped some rice paper around it instead. And honestly, I've been using the same rice from the day before filming, because I was not going to cook rice 2 days in a row if I could avoid it. The only difference is that I added rice vinegar to the rice I used here. Every step of making the ingredients for this recipe went pretty smoothly until we got to the assembly stage. My first idea to replace the seaweed was to use one strip of rice paper. However, that did not work. Everything was falling apart and I couldn't even pick it up. So I decided to ditch the single strip idea and use a whole sheet of rice paper to wrap the musubi completely. In the end, I didn't mind the taste of the spam and kimchi fried rice, but I don't think it's something I would crave. It could totally be possible I'm not used to the type of flavor and slight sweetness that the sauce brought to the dish. I'm not mad about it. Maybe I just need to get accustomed to it. My face might not show it, but the spam and kimchi rice balls filled with cheese were actually my second favorite dish. They were salty, a little spicy, and cheesy. I did want some crunch from frying them, but considering how everything went, I'm not mad about it. If there is something you need to know about me, is that I love pasta and noodles. That was my first food obsession, and the spam carbonara did not disappoint. The creaminess and richness of the sauce, combined with the saltiness of the spam, and the crunch factor from the tiny fried cubes, was amazing. Last but not least, in the end, I don't think the rice paper changed the flavor of the spam musubi. It was more of a texture thing, and honestly, it made me more curious to try spring rolls. But that's for another time. Taste-wise, it was good, but it wasn't my favorite. Sometimes I have a hard time with sweet and savory foods, and maybe that was the case here. It's like my brain wants it to be fully savory, but then it's kind of sweet. On top of that, I'm still not really used to spam. So, at the end, did we learn to love spam? Maybe. I will say that if I have to rate every single one of them, The first one will be definitely the carbonara. Second one, the kimchi spam rice balls filled with cheese. Third one, kimchi and spam fried rice. Last one would be the spam musubi that became kind of like a spring roll situation. Honestly, the carbonara and the rice balls really surprised me. The carbonara I wasn't expecting to like that much. The hope that I had for the rice balls, it wasn't much either. But honestly, they really surprised me because even though I couldn't fry them properly and they were falling apart, it tasted really good. But funnily enough, those two are the ones that had the least spam. So do with that what you want. Maybe I do like it or I just don't mind it. Maybe I like it toasted and golden brown. And maybe I just don't like a big ratio of spam to other ingredients. Because with that experience, the dish that I liked the least was the spam musubi. And that's the one that had the biggest ratio of spam to other ingredients. But it was really fun. I'm a firm believer that sometimes you might not like an ingredient because you haven't found the right recipe yet. See what happened with the carbonara? Sometimes you can just not like the ingredient and that's okay too. It can be a texture or tasting, you are not used to it, or you associate a bad memory to the ingredients. For example, I did this whole concept in a short form, like TikTok Reels and YouTube Shorts for sweet potato. I didn't like it. The taste of one particular sweet potato and the texture of another is just not my thing. In the end, I'm really happy that I gave spam, tulip, or canned meat another try. I genuinely believe that part of the fun in food is trying new things and approaching it with a curiosity mindset within your own boundaries and limitations. Tell me in the comments if there is an ingredient that you would like me to try on the next episode. See you in the next one. Bye!